there's no end of the tunnel, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You can't see. Business is a part of our blood. I also come from a family of businesses, right? So my dad's an entrepreneur, one of the top. I was the topper in my class.
Oh, wow.
Resources lie outside.
Everything lies outside. You just have to bring.
Absolutely. Proyurveda comes from two words: probiotics and Ayurveda.
Ayurveda. Oh.
Absolutely. One person can't make a company. One person is just that, one person. Clinical research organization.
It's like trial.
So yeah, CT is
It's like a trial. Goya.
Goya. Goya. Get off your ass.
गाइस, आज की कॉन्वर्सेशन बहुत ही ज़्यादा नॉलेजेबल होने वाली है क्योंकि आज के जो गेस्ट है वो एक विजनरी फिजिशियन है जो अब एक साइंटिस्ट और एंटरप्रेन्योर बन गए हैं। वो हेल्थ और वेलनेस इंडस्ट्री में एक रिवोल्यूशनरी काम कर रहे हैं। तो वो है डॉक्टर कुणाल। वो एसेंजा न्यूट्रिशन के फाउंडर है। ये न्यूट्रिशन आज 23 कंट्रीज़ में मौजूद है और इसके बेस्ट रिजल्ट्स और बेस्ट इनकी क्वालिटी की वजह से ये आज पूरी दुनिया में विस्तार कर रहा है और इनके आज ट्रस्टेड 5 मिलियन कस्टमर्स है। तो आज की कॉन्वर्सेशन बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्थ के ऊपर, वेलनेस के ऊपर और एंटरप्रेन्योर के ऊपर होने वाली है। So welcome Kunal. Thank you for coming in the podcast.
Thank you, Saahil, for calling me to the podcast. It's wonderful. I would like to put this on the record that don't hold me by anything I say because this is my first official podcast that I'm doing.
Okay.
Probably one of many to come through.
Okay.
Thank you for calling me here.
Yeah.
And let's continue.
So I am so happy to take your first podcast. So let's start in the conversation where just tell me about your physician journey से आप scientist और फिर entrepreneur कैसे बने? Just let us know your journey.
So I think this is about entire my adulthood has been a part of this journey.
Okay.
After I did my MD into medicine, the whole idea was to focus on research, right? And that's how that kida is always there within you, right? Don't mind me calling that, but that bug is there, and it always, that subconscious and your gut keeps telling you that this is something that you should pursue, this is something that you should do, right? So I had that feeling that I want to do something in the form of research, right? Ayurveda being my domain, right? Obviously Ayurveda is where I wanted to start the research to form, right? And Ayurveda is where we started all the research to start with, right? That's the first step in this massive health and wellness industry today. Correct. So when I started researching, obviously when you start, you have this goal that you want to do something in form of research, right? But when you're just starting out, you don't know where do you want to do that research from, right? And why do you want to do that research? What is going to be the end goal? There is no end of the tunnel, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You can't see कि कहाँ से कहाँ जा रहे हैं, right? But start करना है, right? Like I think everybody today tells you one thing which is very common is if you want to achieve a certain goal, you have to start. Yes. Take that first step. I think a great Bollywood actor once said in a movie setting or in a movie, I think I saw scene, and he's talking to an actress where he's talking about I think it was Irfan Khan and Tabu, and he's telling her that अगर आपको प्यार चाहिए है ना, तो प्यार ढूंढना पड़ेगा। तो पहले पार्किंग से गाड़ी निकालोगे नहीं, चलाना कैसे सीखोगे? So that first baby step is very important.
Yes.
So my first baby step was getting into the field of research, right? So obviously when you get into that, you start researching the research that is already done, right? So start seeing what other people are working on, what other scientists are working on, where the Ayurveda industry in general is going, right? Being a physician, I knew where the general industry was, but there is research और practical world में बहुत अंतर होता है, right? Researchers are always, most of the times they are mad people, right? Don't mind me calling people that, right? But they are out of
they're into that thing.
Field, absolutely. And you have to be eccentric, you have to be a little crazy to think outside your general norms. Otherwise, all these great innovations and inventions and discoveries that you have today, you wouldn't have had. Correct? So, obviously taking the first baby step, कि भाई रिसर्च करना है, तो क्या रिसर्च अवेलेबल है, लोग क्या रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, कहाँ पे रिसर्च नहीं हो रही है और कहाँ पे रिसर्च हो रही है. That was my first baby step in,
Okay.
obviously. Then comes my, obviously, from researcher, right, from a physician to researcher, that's the journey, because I didn't want to practice as a doctor ever, right? The whole idea was कि research करेंगे, कुछ productive करेंगे, right? I can't sit behind a table and look at patients all day, because that is not my forte, is what I feel. Correct. And I have immense amount of appreciation and respect for doctors who do that, because it's just, you need so much patience, you need so much adaptability and ability to to work on crazy timings. I have friends, most of my friends are doctors today, right? And they're just working 24 hours, whether they are working in their clinics or they are working in their hospitals, or they are affiliated with a large scale hospital, right? But most of them have very, very erratic schedules, and I am a person who can't adjust to that, right? I need my 6 hours of sleep, mandatory, right? That is something which is very dear to me, right? Only then my body functions, only then my brain functions. And research was something that was dear to me, so I said I will do something in research, and then we will figure out कि आगे क्या करना है. पहले वो step तो लेते हैं. While researching, right, and while I got into that field, I also come from a family of businesses, right? So my dad's an entrepreneur. He runs a very successful company, multiple companies into steel, into IT, and other aspects of life, right? So I've always, growing up, I'm a Banya Gujarati guy, right? So growing up, we have seen businesses. We have very little when we start going to our shops or start going to our factories. We have seen people, we have interacted with people. We were in our diapers when we were going and sitting on the galla, right? So we have seen that.
Oh, nice, elaborating the thing.
Correct, right? So I think all Gujaratis, all Marwadis, all Banya community has seen that, right? So business is a part of our blood, right? वो हमारे खून में है, और वो हमारे जहन में भी है, और वो हमारे दिल में भी है, और मन में भी है कि भाई करना तो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे बिजनेस नहीं, क्या फॉर्म में करेंगे, कैसे करेंगे, वो सोचा नहीं है. शायद फैमिली बिजनेस ज्वाइन करेंगे, शायद कुछ अपना करेंगे, बट करना एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, द गोल इज दिस.
Right.
Goal is not making money. The goal is creating something larger for the community in general, right? That's when my dad is a first generation entrepreneur. So when he started his business, right, his goal was that I want to employ 500 people. I want to ensure that 500 people's family is fed, well fed, and I am raising those 500 families in a way, like a father would to their kids, right? But वो मैं कैसे करूँ? I can't go and help 500 people. So I'll create a business where I can employ 500 people, and then I uplift the entire community, right? That was the goal, and that's how he came into business, right? He did multiple businesses before he landed into his main business, and then he diversified and all of that. Story for another day. Right?
Yes.
So coming back to my story, right? So the whole idea was कि business करेंगे इसमें से, right? So on the other hand, sorry to cut you there, but on the other hand, I was like कि family से बिजनेस तो थोड़ा पता है ना, बट उसको कैसे प्रैक्टिकली करना है, क्योंकि कॉमर्स पढ़ा नहीं है, तो अकाउंटिंग कैसे होता है, फाइनेंस कैसे होता है, वो ऐसे अंदर से पता है, बट प्रैक्टिकली कैसे होता है.
हाँ, फैमिली ट्रेडिशन से थोड़ा बहुत पता है, बट कमिंग टू अ लार्जर पर्सपेक्टिव वो और बड़ा हो जाता है. हाँ.
So obviously the next step was my father consulted me, and he's like, if you really want to pursue this, you do an MBA course, right? And there's a college in Andheri called SP Jain. The SP Jain has a course called Family Managed Business, right? So I did a course from there, right, where they teach essentially only people from family business communities in an MBA format, but it's different from an MBA format क्योंकि MBA में कैसा है कि they teach you how to be a great employee and a performing employee to a level that you become a CEO, independent CEO of a certain company in future, right? As an employer, they teach me how to ensure that there is a mutually beneficial relationship with such high performing employees, correct? So that course was modified for this purpose, right? So I did that course from SP Jain. I was one of the top. I was the topper in my class.
Oh, wow.
So not to brag, but just to tell you that I took it very seriously, correct? The whole idea was because I wanted to quickly grasp on things of accounting, in things of finance, in things of how to market a product. Because science वाले, research वाले को marketing करना नहीं आता है ना? मुझे 100 करोड़ दोगे, मैं 100 करोड़ invest कर दूंगा product के behind, तो वो product बिकेगा क्या, वो पैसा रिटर्न कैसे आएगा? एट द एंड ऑफ द डे दैट हैज टू, हाँ वो होना चाहिए ना, नहीं तो वो जो कम्युनिटी अपलिफ्ट करने वाले वो कैसे करोगे?
बराबर है.
So that was the whole idea. So I did this course, right? A course mein, at the end of our course, we had a beautiful thing called business plan, wherein you put in to paper whatever thoughts you have, right? And then you make it into a plan. Now, one of our leading professors in our college, he taught us that resources lie outside, right? I live by that word. It is one of the most important things, even for your viewers today. Resources lie outside.
Outside. Okay.
If I want to do a particular business or a particular thing, right, it is not necessary that I should know everything. It is not necessary that I should own everything. It is not necessary that I should do everything.
Wow.
Right? What matters is there are people out there with specific set of qualities, skills, correct? If you can collate a team of such like-minded people, get them together, get somebody who has the infra, somebody who has the mind, somebody who has the skills, you get all of them together, and if you just are efficient enough to manage this bunch of really smart people, right, then you can create something very successful, something really nice, something very beautiful.
So this is like, you have given a very good plan of action for every entrepreneur. Ki everything lies outside. You just have to bring everything together. Wow.
So that is how I met my scientific mentor, Dr. M.S. Reddy. He's based in US, right? And he's the one who did the entire research, right? I was assisting, and he did the entire research on Proyurveda as a concept, which was the pioneering front of, or you can say the foundation of my business today. Right now, this Proyurveda stands for taking the subject to a little technical. Right? Proyurveda comes from two words: probiotics and Ayurveda.
Ayurveda, okay.
Probiotics, I'm sure everybody has heard of brands giving you some shots which are very good for your gut bacteria and your gut health. Right? So these are good bacteria. Probiotics. Right? Probiotics again comes from the Greek or Latin word pro and bios. Right? For life. Right, so these are good bacteria, right? If you go about 500 years back or 300 years back, right? Not even 300 years back. Actually, you go about 150 years back. We didn't know that probiotics exist.
Okay.
Right. And today there is immense amount of research that is happening on probiotics. Okay. Right. When the first research happened on probiotics, we realized that when we are born, we have more probiotics in our body than the number of cells in our body.
Oh.
Right. Wow. So who is hosting who? Are the probiotics hosting us, or we are hosting the probiotics? Is a big question mark. Correct. So probiotics पे काफी research चालू है, right? And this mentor of mine, he's an international expert in probiotics. Correct. So he has all the knowledge on probiotics. He comes from a family of Ayurveda. So that's how that concept also came, right? And the whole idea was combination of probiotics with Ayurveda. Right? Will this help in general? Correct? Will this create something new? Right? Will this? Yeah, absolutely. Right? And cut to, I think, couple of years later, we got a US patent, an Indian patent, and a Chinese patent for this concept. Correct? And this whole thing was from a very native concept point. It is today into a commercial product.
Wow. And that is what is Essenza, right?
That is what Essenza is all about.
Wow. Great. So this is like not just one person's thought. You have brought a lot of people together to bring this idea.
Totally. Yeah. One person can't make a company. One person is just that, one person.
Yeah. So I just want to ask you कि जब आपने शुरू किया था, you had thought कि इतने लोग मिलेंगे, आपके जो US के mentors हैं, मतलब what was that feeling, or I can say what was that thought process that people started getting, and what was your motive to come and research and bring that change, or to build that community? You had an idea कि क्या हो रहा है, मतलब चीजें हो रही है, you're going in the right direction. So what was that feeling that time?
So when you start, right, obviously when you are at a very initial stage, it is all just a dream कि हम कुछ करेंगे. You have not seen the light of the end of the tunnel, right? So आपको पता नहीं कि गोल क्या है, but एक vague dream है कि कुछ ऐसा करना है, correct? So that dream was always there, right? Dream was to build a company on 4 pillars:
Okay.
quality, innovation, uniqueness, and integrity, right? Which is also our vision today, right? कि हम कुछ भी करेंगे, हम ये 4 पैरामीटर्स पे करेंगे. It has to be quality oriented, it has to be unique, and it has to be innovative, and you have to do it only and only with integrity. That is how people also in the industry know us today.
Yes.
The smallest department in my organization today is the marketing department, right? Because most of our clients come by the quality of our work.
Quality of your work.
Whole
Marketing perspective. So coming to this question कि जब when you are launching a product, मतलब the Essenza,
right.
so the जो दूसरे जो प्रोडक्ट है मार्केट में, यू आर सेइंग कि मार्केटिंग करके वो लोग बहुत बड़ा नाम कमाते हैं, एंड यू जस्ट मेक अ पिक्चर कि ये प्रोडक्ट से ये चीज़ मिलेगी, ये मिलेगी. सो व्हाट इज एसेंजा डिफरिंग फ्रॉम ऑल अदर न्यूट्रिशन? मतलब एसेंजा में ऐसा क्या अलग है जो ये जो मार्केटिंग करके जो अपने आप को सामने ला रहे हैं, उनमें से डिफरेंस क्या है? व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन?
See, like I said, we work on 4 pillars, right? So when I talk about integrity, is also about transparency.
Okay.
Right? What we are putting on the label is what we are giving to the consumers. If something is not on the label, it's not in the product. And if something is on the label, it is definitely 110% in the product.
Okay.
Right? So if you're talking about, let's say, a multivitamin product, and we are claiming certain vitamins and minerals to be there in the product, then we are ensuring that the product has those vitamins, has those minerals at the end of their shelf life also.
Okay.
Shelf life in general, for people who are not technical, means the end of the usage date for that product. So like your
कब तक यूज कर सकते हैं?
or your use by date, exactly, right?
Okay.
So that is what we are ensuring, right? We are not overcharging our customers. Proyurveda as a patented concept, it is still available at par prices with all other competing brands or large or small brands in India today.
So this Proyurveda, so what is the because this word, I am the first time hearing this word.
Sure.
So in India or in the world, what is the market of this Proyurveda, or what is the awareness of this? Let people know about this, or this is the first time hearing about it? Or it will be like exclusive.
Yeah, I think this is Saahil exclusive only for his consumers or customers, right? So viewers in this sense,
Viewers.
right? But obviously not as many people as we would want to know about the whole concept.
Okay.
We were one of the first ones in India to have all 3 US, India and China patents for a concept. We have clinical studies for these products. Our patents talk about the efficacy, boosting efficacy of the product from up to 2 to 6 times faster in terms of results of the product. So let's say a non-Proyurveda product with a similar formulation would give you results in 6 months, then our product would give you lesser than half the time, or probably even in 1 month if it's 6 times faster, right? So those kind of different data is available, right? Those kind of studies were done, and we've invested in all those studies.
Okay.
So all of that coming through and through, obviously we know that we made products which are very, very result oriented, right? The whole goal was only one thing. That whenever I go to my consumers, right, and I tell them, why don't you prefer Ayurveda over allopathy, right? Probiotics is 100 years old, allopathy is 500 years old, Ayurveda is 5,000 years old, right? So why not trust 5,000-year-old science, right? If it was written 5,000 years ago, then it is definitely more scientific than today.
Today, sure.
They researched it in times where they didn't have the kind of
the things and we had today. Yes.
अगर वो टाइम पे उनको रिजल्ट मिल रहा था तो आज तो मिलना ही
चाहिए,
तो क्यों नहीं मिलेगा, करेक्ट? So with all of this and creating this scenario, obviously we made very, very, very potent product,
Okay.
right? Which if a consumer consumes, and we have had consumers taking this product and they have seen phenomenal results.
Okay. Great.
But at the end of the day, it all comes, and I think boils down to certain part of it obviously comes down to how you market those products. And for marketing, you need certain amount of bandwidth in terms of your financial capacity, You need, and that's the harsh truth of today's industry, right?
Without marketing, I think it's very difficult to survive in any industry today.
Absolutely, and I think that's uh, kind of the harsh truth, but वो fact है आज के टाइम का, है ना. Everybody has to swallow that red pill. ये भाई मार्केटिंग तो करना ही पड़ेगा. मार्केटिंग नहीं करोगे तो ब्रांड अवेयरनेस नहीं होगी, अवेयरनेस नहीं होगी तो आपके कंज्यूमर्स को कैसे पता चलेगा कि आपका प्रोडक्ट का क्या बेनिफिट है, एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, राइट. एंड अंटिल दैट नॉलेज इज स्प्रेड तो वो साइकिल चर्न होना स्टार्ट ही नहीं होगा. सो देन यू आर सिटिंग विद अ ग्रेट प्रोडक्ट ऑन द शेल्फ बट नोबडी इज बाइंग इट.
Okay. So today for Pro Ayurveda, so what all things are going? Because मुझे लगता है कि Essenza से भी ज़्यादा Pro Ayurveda के बारे में लोगों को पता होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Essenza is like in medium कि लोग ऑटोमेटिकली Essenza की तरफ आ जाएंगे. बट Pro Ayurveda के लिए अब तक इंडिया में या वर्ल्ड में what all things are going and what all you are experiencing कि क्या हो रहा है और क्या होना चाहिए?
Okay. So in terms of Proyurveda, so when obviously coming back to the science of it कि हमने जब ये concept derive किया, फिर obviously first step was कि ये concept के रहते हुए we develop products under it. So we developed about 30 odd products in 30 odd indications, so segments under this product, right? So we have a product for acidity, we have a product for digestion, we have a product for hemorrhoids and piles, we have a product for constipation, we have a product for weight management, we have product for irregular menses in women, we have a product for painful menses in women, we have a product for infertility. So ऐसे हमने 30 odd products.
Wow.
Right, not claiming that these products definitely improve certain conditions, but they definitely help you improve upon, right? So it's a one step better than what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And in certain products we have seen phenomenal results, correct, in terms of consumers, and we have those testimonials from consumers, we have those testimonials from doctors today. तो ये products develop हो गए, फिर उसका हमने clinical study करा, right? Clinical study, for people who don't understand, is basically a study done on a small set of consumers or customers via doctors, via clinical research organizations.
It's like trial.
So yeah, CTs.
Like a trial.
So तो वो प्रोडक्ट्स लेते हैं, फिर उनको मॉनिटर किया जाता है और उनका रिजल्ट्स मॉनिटर किया जाता है, जिससे पता चलता है कि हाउ दिस प्रोडक्ट्स आर डूइंग इन जनरल, करेक्ट. सो उससे हमें पता चला कि प्रोडक्ट्स आर डूइंग फिनोमिनली वेल, राइट. तो फिर इनको नेक्स्ट स्टेज लेके जाए, यू लाइसेंस दिस प्रोडक्ट्स. When you license these products with the FDA, then you can start manufacturing these products. Then you manufacture these products and then send it out to consumers.
Okay.
फिर पूरा गेम आपके मार्केटिंग के ऊपर है. तो after we had this set of 30 odd products ready with us, the next step was start building a marketing team. Okay. Correct. So we built a small marketing team initially, only a couple of people and me. Right. We started going out to doctors. Right. We reached out to doctors in my network first because resources lie outside.
Yes.
So we did that, right? Reached out to this set of people, right? Started explaining to them that ये generic Ayurvedic medicine से मेरी patented Ayurvedic medicine कैसे better है, correct? And then obviously we sample certain products to the doctors for them to try on their patients, and we give them this study of clinical studies that we have done. जब ये सब data अच्छा आता है, right? And you see that you have been able to crack certain doctors initially, right? They have now started putting your product on the pen, right? When I say on the pen, means they're writing a prescription. When they write a prescription, they give it to the patient. Patient will go to the chemist and buy that product.
Buy that product. Okay.
So then your churning starts, right? Then you're making some money on your investment. Then you're making some, you are covering the cost of your field force, correct? So वैसे वो team बढ़ती गई, right? That team is at about 150 people today in about 6-7 states in India, correct? But very early on, I realized कि मुझे सिर्फ और सिर्फ यहाँ से मार्केटिंग नहीं करनी है, in the sense कि I don't want to restrict only to India, correct? I want to make this a global brand, correct? And when I want to make this a global brand, तो मैं सिर्फ इंडियन मार्केट के लिए रिस्ट्रिक्ट नहीं कर सकता अपने आप को.
Yeah.
So then we started approaching other countries. We started with neighboring countries first, correct? And then went to further countries. Today we are exporting to about 23 countries, right? With these 23 countries, Proyurveda is present in a lot of these countries.
Okay.
And we are doing very, very good in these countries. Correct.
So while researching or having this, the knowledge of audience, मतलब audience in the sense customers for you. For me, it's audience. So आपके customers का जब आप study कर रहे थे, so what is the I think direction of audience customers for you कि वो लोग कितना प्रो आयुर्वेदा की तरफ आ रहे हैं कि व्हाट इज योर स्टडी और आई थिंक क्या बोलते हैं इनसाइट्स.
So in terms of insights, I think being from the industry, it is easier for me to understand the consumer's mindset. Right, the consumers that we are reaching out to right now are consumers who are facing an issue and going to doctors for a solution.
Okay.
That's my TG, right? And it is not specific with an age group or a demographic, right? Specifically because when they are going to a doctor, right, they have a problem. Suppose a patient has indigestion and continuous indigestion, or they have an IBS issue, right? They are going to a doctor for a solution, right? It is upon the doctor to give them the right solution. And we are going and educating these doctors about the benefits of our products, right? Then it is upon the doctor to ensure कि वो अपने पेशेंट को कौन सी प्रोडक्ट दे रहे हैं जिससे उनके पेशेंट को relief मिले. And obviously all doctors also want to see that the patients are cured fast.
Yeah.
Correct. And when they're looking at that, they would select whatever they feel is best for their patient.
So basically now your product, you have kept that authenticity of your product. It is not like कि कुछ भी अंदर एक प्रोटीन शेक है और वो सब कोई मेडिकल में, it's like doctor prescribed thing. So you have kept that quality of your product yet.
Absolutely. So D2C is what we're talking about. कि direct consumers can go online and buy your products, or go to a chemist and buy your product. Right? It is also a very interesting form of marketing and branding your products, right? वहाँ पे भी you can do a quality based work.
Okay.
But there we feel that consumer engagement and informing your consumers about the do's and don'ts, correct, is more crucial, right? Because just कुछ लेना है या just because सब लोग ले रहे हैं मुझे लेना है is not the right thing to do, is what we feel, right? That is why as on today, as Essenza Nutrition, as a company, as a brand, we don't have a protein powder.
Okay.
Even today, right? Because that ethically does not fit with our basket. Right? However, having said that, Proyurveda is also available online. So it is also a D2C brand, but we just don't put in as much effort in the D2C as much as we put in the prescription set of business. Right? Because educating a doctor, जब मुझे साइंस बात करनी है तो मैं कंज्यूमर से बात करूं, उससे अच्छा मेरे से डॉक्टर से बात करूं.
Related with the consumers and their patients better than the people. Okay. So in the start of your conversation, when you were in the beginning doing research about this industry, Ayurveda, health industry, so what was the major problem is going on today in India? As मुझे लगता है कि कोविड के बाद हेल्थ ये इशू बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट हो गया लोगों के लिए, कि कोविड के बाद लोगों को लगता है अगर कोविड नहीं भी हुआ है बट सबको कहीं ना कहीं, बट योर इम्यूनिटी हैज फाइटेड दैट बैक, बट आप कहीं ना कहीं वीक हो गए. सो आफ्टर दैट हेल्थ हैज बिकम सम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक फॉर पीपल. सो फॉर यू कि आप जब रिसर्च कर रहे थे, सो व्हाट इज द मेजर प्रॉब्लम इंडियन कंज्यूमर्स, फर्स्ट विल टॉक अबाउट इंडियन, व्हाट इंडियन कंज्यूमर्स और इंडियन पीपल आर फेसिंग, और व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम, बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम इन दिस हेल्थ इंडस्ट्री.
Okay. So in terms of Indian consumers, I think COVID ने consumers को अपनी health के बारे में seriously सोचने का एक बहुत kind of an awakening happened, right? What we were trying since 2014, COVID did in 2 years, right? So they taught everybody the importance of keeping ensuring they are healthy, ensuring they have their macros and micros, ensuring that they have their body is fit, ensuring that their immunity is up and working, right? ये सब only happened because of COVID. At a serious and there was a set of customers pre-COVID also, who were all very, very positive about their health. They were getting their bodies tested annually. They were seeing what vitamins and what deficiencies they have. They were fulfilling those deficiencies with the right nutrients. They are eating right? So all of that was happening. But after COVID, I think a bigger chunk of population started believing in this fact, because they saw practically those who had better immunities, right, sailed through COVID with much more ease than people who didn't, right? And everybody saw some or the other form of severe illness or death in their families or friends during the times of COVID, right? So I think because of COVID, there was a big boost in terms of people starting to think. It opened a conversation. It was like an icebreaker. People started thinking about this seriously, thinking about that health seriously. Right now, people are researching more. If you see the amount of researches on Amazon or on Google, people reading blogs, people going and seeing YouTube videos of people who are posting, right? Also shot up, right? Everybody wants to think healthy. Everybody wants to see how to fulfill their needs. They now know that if I'm feeling lethargic, right, if I'm feeling lack of energy, then it is probably due to some issue, right? And if it is because of some issue, then I should get it checked, right? पहले क्या होता था कि अगर लेथार्जी फील हो रहा है 2 दिन होगा, चलो देखा जाएगा,
हाँ,
right?
नेग्लिजेंस ज़्यादा था लोगों के बीच में तभी कि दे वर लाइक कि नहीं हो जाएगा ठीक, वरना नॉर्मल कोई गोली खा के विदाउट हैविंग एन प्रॉपर प्रिस्क्रिप्शन फ्रॉम डॉक्टर, कोई तो एंटीबायोटिक खा के दे यूज्ड टू क्योर देमसेल्व्स. सो नाउ योर एंटरप्रेन्योर जर्नी. So this company which you have started, this is a bootstrap company, right?
Yeah, it's a bootstrap.
So what problems in the beginning as a bootstrap company, what all problems you faced or what all difficult time you faced, so which can really help the audience, or जो लोग सपने देख रहे हैं या जो aspirings है, जो जिनको बनना है, business खोलना है, उनको help हो सके. So how you can help them?
Right. So in terms of it being a bootstrap business, it is still a bootstrap business, right? We are still self-funded only. We have not had any investors, not even our bankers, right? So we are a debt-free company, right? And I like to grow my company like that, right? I don't want to grow at a pace which is just so exorbitant that I feel it may lead to an early death of an organization. I want to build a sustainable, long-lasting brand, a long-lasting company, right? I want my employees, my stakeholders, everybody who is affiliated with my company to be affiliated with the company even 100 years from now.
Okay.
So we grow at our pace. We are in no rush. Right? We are doing very good in terms of numbers. We are opening up new countries every year, right? We are growing faster and faster, right? But not at a pace जिससे हमें लगे कि when you are running down the hill, it is very easy to tumble.
Yeah.
Correct. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to get into that, right? We see a lot of companies, smaller companies or startups, right, in today's time, who have started a couple of years back and have become multi-million or multi-billion dollar companies in our segment also, right? And sometimes you feel that life में सही कर रहे हो क्या, correct? But you should not forget your goal, right? And you should not forget
The roots, when you for what aim and goal you started.
exactly.
Yes.
So the whole idea is not to make a quick buck, right? The whole idea is to make an impact in the life of people.
Okay.
Right? Do my products still impact somebody's life when they take it? Yes. Right? Do my product, the whole ecosystem of my company, are my people happy in my organization? I would like to think yes. Correct? Are we not rushing anybody? We don't have sales targets in our company, right? So we are not rushing anybody. Everybody is working at their own pace, but they're all working towards one common goal, right? Which is to ensure that the products help consumers.
Okay.
Right? That these are effective based products. So that is why as an organization, we have not gone into certain dosage forms, right? Because those dosage forms, I don't want to cause a controversy here, but there are certain dosage forms which are very consumer friendly, right? But they are all micro dosing dosage forms. So उसमें आप vitamins, minerals दोगे तो consumer की life में कोई फर्क पड़ेगा ही नहीं.
It's just like they are creating a hype और लोग ले लेते हैं, but उससे अंदर कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. So
कुछ हो रहा है, वो बहुत छोटा है कुछ करने के लिए. For a person who is 5'7", let's say, right, he weighs 75 kgs, उसके लिए उसका RDA का 2%, 5%, 10%, 15% is not going to make a difference in his life. If he's deficit, so he needs 100% daily, तो वो डेफिसिट कवर होगा. प्लस ही नीड्स टू ईट द राइट फूड्स, राइट, है ना. ऐसे हिपोक्रेटिस सेड ओनली कि भाई लेट फूड बी thy medicine, right. Ayurveda is all about Ayur and Ved, the knowledge of life. It's all about not just medicine, right. Ayurveda as a discipline, it's a lot more. It talks about meditation, it talks about food, it talks about medication, right. So बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, वो सब फॉलो करोगे तो you can be a healthy person, correct. Now we just pick and choose कि हम सिर्फ इतना करेंगे इसमें से, तो you can't live a healthy life. You can live a healthier life than what you were doing yesterday.
Yeah.
But you can't be
at the best.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now you said about Ayurveda. So I think Ayurveda ये आया हिंदुस्तान से, इंडिया से आया है. But before now, I think few years पहले आयुर्वेदा की बातें बहुत कम होती थी. I can say एक प्रकार से मार्केटिंग नहीं होती थी. चीज़ें लोग यूज़ करते थे अपने तरीके से, अपने घर में नानी दादी सब अपने अपने प्रोडक्ट्स वो सब यूज़ करते थे, वो होता था, बट वो लाइमलाइट पे नहीं आता था. So you feel that Ayurveda is now the best solution to fight the modern diseases?
Absolutely. Ayurveda was, Ayurveda is, and Ayurveda will. Yeah. There is a WHO report which says that India has become, to a certain level, antibiotic resistant.
Oh wow.
Right? So antibiotic resistance is a very severe phenomenon. Allopathy, right? And especially antibiotics in allopathy for routine illnesses, for smaller bacterial infections, covered naturally also after 15 days, 10 days. So until it is severe and you start taking antibiotics, right? Then you become antibiotic resistant. Then next time you have to take a higher dose of the same antibiotic, or then otherwise you have to take another molecule for the same illness, right? And that's how you start becoming antibiotic resistant.
Okay.
When you become antibiotic resistant as a nation, matlab next time a COVID wave hits, so the antibiotics available in the industry, readily available industry, won't give you any impact on your body. Okay. Then how do you fight your disease? So the whole idea is to make people less dependent on
antibiotics.
Stay less dependent on antibiotics if you get less infections. You get less infections if your immunity is high up and running.
Okay.
If your recovery is better, right? All that can happen with the help of Ayurveda. Nice. As a meditation.
Okay. So basically people should take that initiative inside their life or inside themselves. Ki Ayurveda should be the first priority always, right? Absolutely. Yeah. So now coming as in your entrepreneurial journey, what do you feel, what is the atmosphere in the country today as an entrepreneur or business wise? कैसे हिंदुस्तान ग्रो कर रहा है? आपको लग रहा है कि सिर्फ नंबर वाइज हमें दिख रहा है कि स्टार्टअप्स आ रहे हैं, बट समवेयर दे आर लाइक बहुत सारा डेप्थ में है, कोई बंद होने की कगार पे है, बट दे आर टेकिंग इन्वेस्टर्स से. सो व्हाट यू फील, क्या एटमॉस्फेयर है स्टार्टअप्स का हिंदुस्तान में टुडे?
आई थिंक अंडर पीएम मोदी जी's leadership, India is growing really phenomenally. Right? We are growing much faster than we have ever grown. We are on the verge to become a $5 trillion economy as he wants.
Yeah.
So, and I am an avid believer in his philosophies and his leadership skills and the vision and mission that he has set for himself and the nation. Right? अगर country के लीडर ने सोच लिया है कि $5 ट्रिलियन की इकोनॉमी करनी है, और उन्होंने पास्ट में प्रूव करके दिखाया है कि जो नंबर बोला है 3 ट्रिलियन, तो हमने 3 ट्रिलियन अचीव किया है, राइट? हम टॉप 5 के अंदर है.
From 11th when he took the as in PM का post, that time we were 11th, today we are 5th.
See, so ये growth हो रहा है. He has proven his track record. Yeah. We have seen the kind of developments that are happening across the nation, right? तो कंट्री तो ग्रो करने वाला है by default. कंपनी ग्रो होगा, पर किससे होगा? The growth drivers are all the SMEs, all the MSMEs, and all the large scale companies. Yes. Correct? So यही तो growth के the fundamental growth will happen when all these companies grow together. तो अगर आप ग्रो नहीं कर रहे हो तो कोई और डबल ग्रोथ कर रहा है, इसलिए आप ग्रोथ नहीं कर रहे हो. क्योंकि कंट्री अगर ग्रो,
तो कंपटीशन उतना ही बढ़ेगा, उतना ही सब कुछ.
competition will increase, opportunities will also increase. It is not just the competition. The marketing, if let's say we are talking about my industry, health and wellness industry, right? When the economy rises, meaning more people are paid well, correct? As employees, let's say, just we are talking about general masses. So there are more job opportunities. More people are taking jobs. More people are paid well. When they are paid well, the standard of living goes up. When the standard of living goes up, people start thinking about preventive health. When people start thinking about preventive health, they start looking at our products. Right? It's all chain reaction.
Great. So now we are talking about PM Modi. So PM Modi ने जो योगा आज वर्ल्ड वाइड कर दिया है, so that is also a part of Ayurveda and our Indian history. तो योगा तो आज मतलब मुझे लगता है योगा डे, इंटरनेशनल योगा डे बनाया जाता है, और he was the one who took the initiative in UN. Okay. So अभी मुझे जानना है आपका कि जो आपका एसेंजा के साथ एक और प्रोडक्ट आपने शायद लॉन्च किया है, which is like an tiny.
Yeah, the tiny secret.
So what is the idea behind, and what is it is different from Essenza?
So I'll tell you about the journey of Essenza. I started as a researcher, then we developed certain products. Then we got the patents for US, India, China patents for Proyurveda concept. We started marketing Proyurveda concepts. But as an industry in general, we were progressing from just Ayurveda to even supplements and nutraceutical supplements. Right? So when you're growing in that direction, so now we are not looking at just root cause solution. We are also looking at certain immediate results. Right? Nutraceutical is derived from pharmaceuticals. So right, so these are basically nutritional products, right, which may or may not be natural, but given in such dosage forms, right, where not dosage forms, given in such dosages which is not harmful for the human body, or which is when required for the human body. So let's say we are taking this juice, right? If this is fresh watermelon juice, and my goal from this juice is to achieve certain vitamins or minerals from it, right? तो अगर मुझे वो मेरे न्यूट्रिशन से, फूड से नहीं मिल रहा है, राइट, तो मुझे उसको कहीं और से लेना पड़ेगा, राइट? सो आयुर्वेदा इज मोर काइंड ऑफ मेडिसिनल, राइट? वो आपका डेली न्यूट्रिशन पूरा नहीं कर सकता. ऑब्वियसली इट कैन डू, राइट, बट देन पीपल डोंट हैव द एपेटाइट फॉर दोस काइंड ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स.
ओके.
So अगर आपको आमला इज अ पार्ट ऑफ आयुर्वेदा, राइट, तो देन आमला हैज इट इज वेरी रिच इन विटामिन सी. ऐसे बहुत सारे हर्ब्स हैं, राइट. यष्टिवधु इज अ हर्ब इन आयुर्वेदा, राइट, विच इज वेरी वेरी स्वीट, राइट. यू कैन यूज इट एज एन आर्टिफिशियल स्वीटनर, नेचुरल स्वीटनर. सो ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर अवेलेबल, पर उसके लिए एक एपेटाइट भी बनाना चाहिए. उसके लिए वो और रिसर्चेस हो रही है. फ्यूचर में प्रोबेबली प्रोडक्ट्स विल कम, राइट. सो आयुर्वेदा इज मोर मेडिसिनल, राइट. पर डेली न्यूट्रिशन जो है कि आई नीड ऑल माई विटामिन, ऑल माई मिनरल्स, तो वो कहाँ से आएगा? सो वो न्यूट्रिशन से आता है. सो न्यूट्रास्यूटिकल सप्लीमेंट से आता है. व्हेन इट कम्स फ्रॉम न्यूट्रास्यूटिकल सप्लीमेंट्स, राइट, सो हमने क्या किया कि फ्रॉम आयुर्वेदा वी स्टार्टेड, वी स्लोली इवॉल्व इनटू आयुर्वेदा एंड न्यूट्रास्यूटिकल कंपनी, राइट. सो टुडे वी हैव मोर देन 500 plus products with us, right, and we do not just Ayurveda, but we do nutritional products.
Okay.
Right. And in terms of nutrition, so we do all probiotics, we do all vitamins, we do all minerals, we do proteins, right. We don't have a protein brand for ourselves, but if somebody comes up to us and says that they want a protein brand, we help them design, develop, manufacture the product, right. तो हम ये पूरा basket of products करते हैं. Then we do clinical nutrition products,
Okay.
right, which is nutrition for specific therapeutic uses, right. If there is a patient, now we recently developed a wide range of products for oncology patients,
Okay.
right. So cancer patients, when they are undergoing therapy, when they have done with their therapies and the cancer is into remission, right, and when they are going out back in the world and trying to have that energy again, so we made supplements dedicated for that segments. So that is called therapeutic supplements. We have supplements for people with renal impairment, so kidney failures, or partial kidney damaged patients, right, जिनको nutrition चाहिए पर kidney पे affect नहीं करना चाहिए, right. Then similarly for people who are highly diabetic, we have supplements for them, right. कि जो एकदम diabetic है वो nutrition कैसे ले, क्योंकि he can't take the regular supplements available in the industry. बिकॉज उसमें अगर शुगर है तो ही कैन गेट अ शुगर स्पाइक, राइट. अगर उसमें कोई और मैक्रो माइक्रो ऐसा है जो उसको इंसुलिन के साथ डिस्टर्बेंस क्रिएट करे, then also they will have trouble. So you have to, there's a lot of science that goes behind this, a lot of understanding that goes in this development of these products, right? So that's how we came into nutrition. Now coming to your question about the tiny secret, so I think when we started this podcast, you mentioned about dadi ma ke nuske, right? We discussed about that, and you mentioned so I remember that word dadi ma ke nuske, because that is what something we very strongly believe in when we launched our own brand called the Tiny Secret. Okay. So when we went across the market, right, we realized that hame Ayurveda being very traditional, nutraceutical being very medicinal, right, like your capsules, tablets and powder form, right? We wanted to do something different to engage with the new age consumers.
Okay.
Right. And again on the 4 pillars के हमें जो भी करना है वो इनोवेटिव करना है, क्वालिटी बेस्ड करना है ना, यूनिक करना है, राइट. सो वो ध्यान में रखते हुए वी वांटेड टू डेवलप समथिंग, राइट. सो वी डिड अ स्मॉल मार्केट सर्वे एंड वी फाउंड आउट के इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंडियंस, राइट, हम 3 चीज बहुत कंज्यूम करते हैं, नॉट नेसेसरी ऑल 3 बट ईदर ऑफ 3, राइट. इफ यू आर गोइंग इनटू अ मीटिंग or after certain having a coffee or certain things, we take mints,
Mouth freshener.
correct. So we take mints is a habit. Then most of the Indians either drink tea or they take green tea, right? So that's a habit, correct. And then all your aerated drinks, so all your sodas, soda pops, your whatever color they may be, but all of them, right? So these 3 traits are there in all Indians, right? तो ये 3 में से एक चीज हम रोज कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं. सो वी थॉट कि व्हाई नॉट मेक सप्लीमेंट्स जो यूजुअली कैप्सूल्स और टैबलेट फॉर्म में आता है, व्हाई नॉट मेक देम इन ईदर ऑफ दिस 3 फॉर्म्स.
Okay.
Right. Bringing in the दादी माँ के नुस्खे in the product.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the tiny secret is all about that one whisper that दादी माँ gave our mothers, and our mothers are telling us that अगर cough and cold है तो ये खा लो, राइट. अगर सर्दी है तो ये कर लो, अगर यू नो यू हैव सर्टेन स्टमक इज नॉट वेल, यू आर ब्लोटिंग, यू हैव गैस, डू दिस.
Okay. That is,
है ना, हल्दी के साथ हींग मिला के घी लगा के स्टमक पे लगा दो, राइट. सो ऑल दोस नुस्खास आर देयर. आपके घर के नुस्खे, मेरे घर के नुस्खे सब अलग है ना, व्यूअर्स के घर के नुस्खे सबके अलग है ना. आई थिंक कमेंट्स में डालो आपके घर पे क्या नुस्खे है, राइट. सो but like that, so and these are all effective and all of them work. They are all little bit different from each other, but they all work. So we picked some very common nuskes and we designed them into formats, right, with all the nutrition into those 3 formats that people are already consuming. तो हमने 3-4 प्रोडक्ट्स, मल्टीविटामिन्स है, गट हेल्थ के लिए प्रोबायोटिक्स है, डाइजेस्टिव एंजाइम्स है, तो ऐसी भी मेड 3 प्रोडक्ट्स इन मिंट फॉर्म. तो आपको पैकेजिंग भी मिंट जैसा दिखेगा, टेस्ट भी मिंट जैसा दिखेगा, टेक्सचर भी मिंट जैसा दिखेगा, बट यू आर टेकिंग न्यूट्रिशन इन अ मिंट फॉर्म, राइट. सो ऑल यू आर डूइंग इज वो शुगर वाला जो मिंट है ना उसको
साइड में रखो, और
साइड में नहीं
डाल दो, यस, फेंक दो,
करेक्ट. एंड यू टेक दिस विच इज हेल्दी.
मतलब आपने एक तरह से लोगों की आदत नहीं बिगाड़नी है, बट आपने उनके लिए एक बीच का रास्ता ढूंढ लिया कि ये यूज करो, डोंट यूज इट अनहेल्दी.
आई एम नॉट चेंजिंग देयर हैबिट, आई एम जस्ट रिप्लेसिंग द प्रोडक्ट विद समथिंग व्हिच इज हेल्दियर, and it's not compromising on the taste, texture, packaging, anything. They can still carry that small dippy in their pocket.
मेरे को यूज करना पड़ेगा ये
100%.
वाओ.
Coming to second segment, right, जो टी था फॉर्मेट, राइट. तो हमने टी पैकेजिंग में, पाउचेस में, जैसे टी सैशे होते हैं ग्रीन टी के, सेम फॉर्म में प्रोडक्ट बनाया विच इज स्टेबल टू अबाउट 80 डिग्रीज टेम्परेचर में, सो दैट आप गर्म पानी में उसको मिक्स करते हो तो भी द इंग्रेडिएंट्स इनसाइड द प्रोडक्ट वो डैमेज नहीं होंगे, राइट. आपको पूरा न्यूट्रिशन मिलेगा, वो पूरा घुल जाएगा, इट विल डिसॉल्व टोटली एंड इट विल स्टिल टेस्ट लाइक योर ग्रीन टी, and not just your generic bitter green tea, like your flavored green tea. So जैसे honey lemon है, Moroccan mint है, lime है, so all those flavors we designed. And then उसमें हमने detox, multivitamins and ऐसे अलग products बनाए.
Wow.
Coming to the third format, the soda form, the pop form, right, fizzy drinks, right. उसमें fizzy drink में हमने कोशिश की, हम successful नहीं रहे, right, and we are very open about our failures in general, so no harm in saying कि हम successful नहीं रहे, right. So उसमें fizzy drink में certain ingredients were unable to stabilize in that form, so हमने क्या किया, we took effervescent tablet as a form. Effervescent tablets या compressed tablets, जिसको आप पानी के ग्लास में अगर डालते हो तो it will पूरा dissolve, it has sodium bicarbonate, so it becomes your soda drink, and then it automatically dissolves in your glass of water.
Wow.
Right, so we took that as a form. So आप सोडा के लिए आप वो टैबलेट की एक गोली लेके घूम रहे हो, that effervescent tablet, right, you drop it in a glass of water, it becomes a fizzy drink, right. So we are still on the go fizzy drink बोल सकते हो उसको, है ना, जब चाहिए तभी फ्रेश अपना सोडा खुद बना लो, करेक्ट, बट विथ अगेन ऑल द न्यूट्रिशन इन इट.
So मतलब इतना यूनिक रिसर्च यू पीपल हैव डन जहाँ पे यू कैन क्रिएट एन हेल्दी इंडिया एंड हेल्दी भारत. मतलब हर हैबिट नहीं चेंज करना है बट हमें प्रोडक्ट जरूर चेंज करना है, वो बहुत नीड है आज का.
श्योर.
सो अभी व्हेन यू आई जस्ट हैव दैट वन क्वेश्चन, शायद मेरे ऑडियंस को पता नहीं होगा, वो जो सर्टिफिकेट्स आपको मिलते हैं, मतलब प्रोडक्ट के पीछे जो सर्टिफिकेट्स होते हैं वो कैसे मिलते हैं, उसमें से आपको मतलब हाउ एन कंज्यूमर कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि ये कौन सी चीज़ का आपको सर्टिफिकेशन मिला है कि ये आप में आपके प्रोडक्ट में है, बहुत परफेक्ट व्हाट आई कैन से परफेक्ट अमाउंट में है. सो वो सर्टिफिकेट्स के बारे में यू कैन जस्ट टेल टू द ऑडियंस एंड टू मी.
So in terms of certificates, right, if you see, I think every consumer should be educated enough to be able to read the nutritional information at the back of the pack, right, which is very crucial, right. Obviously over information भी नहीं करना है, because at the end of the day I think my friends complain about one thing very very much is कि पेशेंट्स इतना सारा गूगल करके आते हैं कि उनको लगता है उनको कैंसर हो गया और वो आज मरने वाला है. बिकॉज इफ यू शिद्दत से अगर कुछ भी चीज पे 1 घंटे के लिए गूगल करोगे तो आपको एक पिंपल भी हुआ रहेगा तो आपको लगेगा कि ये कैंसर कार्सिनोजेनिक लीजन है बॉडी पे, राइट.
तो ऐसा हमारे मार्केटिंग में ऐसा कहते हैं कि मतलब आई एम वर्किंग इन एन एजेंसी, तो वहाँ पे कहते हैं कि एक मार्केटर से ज़्यादा क्लाइंट इज द बिग मार्केटर, उसको सब पता है.
एग्जैक्टली वैसा है, राइट. सो again I'm sorry I lost the
you are telling about कि कंज्यूमर को सब पता है.
हाँ, right. So we're talking about कि लेबल के पीछे का पढ़ना, they should have that knowledge, right, but not get scared with anything that they read. अगर प्रोडक्ट में मैग्नीशियम स्टेरेट एज एन एक्सिपिएंट यूज हुआ है तो इट इज वेरी सेफ एंड इट इज वेरी मिनिमल क्वांटिटी, ओनली टू एंश्योर कि वो प्रोडक्ट 2 साल 3 साल की शेल्फ लाइफ के लिए स्टेबल रहे, करें तो ही वो प्रोडक्ट आपको आपका बेनिफिट देने वाली है, राइट. सो वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल ऑन दैट एंड द पीपल शुड नो हाउ टू educate themselves in terms of I think we also want to do a series on this later, that how to read those label claim and all, and stuff like that, right. So that knowledge comes to them.
Okay, so now
no, I'm sorry, we were talking about the accreditations at the back of the label. Right. So when we're talking about those accreditations, so at the back of the pack you will see a lot of certificates that the manufacturer has for the product or the product has for itself, right. When a product certification is, it's usually when it's tested in an international laboratory or a government approved laboratory, right, where let's say if we are talking about sports supplements, so it may be tested for certain banned ingredients that are not allowed for sports people, right? Especially steroids, right, because they give them undue advantage and they're banned most of the cases. So वो हो सकता है. So if you're an athlete, you should look for that, correct. If you are a general consumer, then you should look that the manufacturing facility has certain accreditations, जिससे वो facility आप जाके facility को audit तो नहीं कर सकते हो, आपको नहीं पता कहाँ पे बन रहा है ना. तो for that you see those accreditations at the back of the label. Okay, is it ISO 22000? Is it HACCP approved? Is it FSSAI approved? FSSAI mandatory है. FSSAI approved होना मतलब कि फैसिलिटी बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट है नॉट जरूरी. FSSAI मतलब कि उससे गवर्नमेंट से FSSAI डिपार्टमेंट से लाइसेंस लेके रखा है कि मैं ये प्रोडक्ट बना सकूं. दे हैव ऑडिटेड द फैसिलिटी टू सर्टन एक्सटेंट टू एंश्योर कि ये बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी करता है, बट इट्स नॉट द बेस्ट वो नहीं बोल सकते, राइट. देन यू सी अदर सर्टिफिकेशंस लाइक इंटरनेशनल सर्टिफिकेट्स, अगर वो कोई और कंट्री में अप्रूव्ड है फैसिलिटी, राइट. इज इट आर फैसिलिटी इज अप्रूव्ड बाय US FDA, WHO, GMP, which are all stringent bodies. We are approved by NAFDAC, right? So they stringent international bodies है, right? अगर उन्होंने मेरा फैसिलिटी अप्रूव किया है तो यू कैन हैव दैट पीस ऑफ माइंड कि यहाँ पे अगर प्रोडक्ट बनेगी तो जेन्युइन प्रोडक्ट बनेगी.
ओके, सो नाउ एज आपके जो प्रोडक्ट है वो 23 कंट्रीज में ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है, सो व्हाट वाज द डिफिकल्टी? अभी आपने जो बताया वो एक छोटा राइट नाउ इन व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन इंडिया यू वर टॉकिंग अबाउट. So, but what was the difficulty you faced to get your product to the 23 countries?
Okay, so difficulties तो I think entrepreneurial का middle name है. There are challenges everywhere. Right? When we started, I think we were very sure that we want to expand and we want to go international, right? Because very initially when I started, I read an article where हमारे यहाँ पे आयुर्वेदा डेवलप हुआ है. But in terms of herbal exports, we are less than half of what China does globally, right? So we have very poor numbers in that sense because हमारे यहाँ पे वो टाइप का रिसर्च नहीं हो रहा था, हमारे यहाँ पे वो टाइप की फैसिलिटीज नहीं थी, इसलिए we developed designed and developed a facility which was internationally approvable. तो हमने फार्मा गाइडलाइंस लेके आयुर्वेदा फैसिलिटी डाला था, right? So we did all of that, right? तो एंड गोल तो था कि इंडियन कंज्यूमर्स को तो बेनिफिट देना है, बट ग्लोबली भी इंडिया का नाम ऊपर लेके जाना है, आयुर्वेदा को वापस ऊपर लाना है, राइट? सो व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड एक्सपोर्टिंग, ऑब्वियसली पहले तो कोई कॉन्टेक्स्ट थे नहीं, सो वी वेंट आउट टू नेबरिंग कंट्रीज, जैसे श्रीलंका है, म्यांमार है, कंबोडिया है, फिलीपाइंस है, वियतनाम है, ऑल दिस नेबरिंग कंट्रीज बिकॉज ट्रैवल इज चीपर हियर, राइट? इट्स इजियर. They to some extent understand herbs, the science behind herbs, Ayurveda, ये knowledge उनको है थोड़ा बहुत, right? So ये सब चीजें वो लोग को थोड़ा बहुत समझ में आता है, right? So because of which we went to these countries, we went in, did a lot of legwork. So another professor of mine, actually उनका एक keyword है, keyword मतलब एक acronym है, he not his acronym but he usually tells us Goya.
Goya.
GOYA. Get off your ass. Right? बस simple thing. Right? अगर मुझे एक वर्ड में बोलना है हमने क्या किया था, हमने गोया किया.
Okay.
Right? Just get off your ass, go to that country and see what they are doing.
What they are doing.
Right? See how they are doing. See where they are getting the material from. Yeah. Right? आप एक रिटेल पे पहुंच जाओ. Right? रिटेल पे आप 2 दिन घूमोगे तो रिटेल में जो बॉयज होते हैं उनसे पहचान हो जाएगी, राइट? फिर वहां पे कौन आके डिलीवर कर रहा है, कौन कब गुड्स ला रहा है, तो उसके टेम्पो के ऊपर उसका नाम लिखा रहेगा. आपको डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर मिल गया, राइट? वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को चेज करोगे तो आपको कौन सी प्रोडक्ट कर रहा है. इफ यू वर्क इन अ कंट्री, in a smaller country,
we should be present in whichever places you are, मतलब जो भी काम कर रहे हो, get off गोया, वहाँ उतर जाओ, मैदान में उतर जाओ.
मैदान में उतर जाओ. अगर आप मैदान में उतर जाओगे,
के क्लासरूम में बैठ के आप नहीं सीख सकते.
नहीं सीख सकते, मतलब बहुत सीख सकते हो, पर जिंदगी जो सिखाती है वो तो नहीं सीख सकते. सो आप जब फील्ड में उतरते हो, आप जब फॉलो करते हो, प्रोडक्ट को फॉलो करो, कंज्यूमर को फॉलो करो, मतलब स्टॉक नहीं करना है किसी को, जस्ट फॉलो करना है, राइट? तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि प्रोडक्ट कहाँ से आ रही है, कौन बिगेस्ट डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर है, कौन ज्यादा प्रोडक्ट बेच रहा है, कौन इंपोर्टर है, किसके हाथ में मार्केट है, राइट? कौन आपको हेल्प कर सकता है, किसके पास क्या प्रोडक्ट नहीं है और आप वो प्रोडक्ट मार्केट फिट बिठा सकते हो. सो वो सब स्टडी के बाद आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि मुझे कौन सी प्रोडक्ट यहाँ पे निकालनी है, विच विल गिव मी गुड मार्जिन्स, कौन सा डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर अच्छा काम कर सकता है, राइट? फिर वो प्रोडक्ट को वो मार्केट में लेके जाना है, राइट? सो दैट इज व्हाट वी डिड इन ऑल द मार्केट्स दैट वी आर देयर. हमारी सब प्रोडक्ट सब जगह पे नहीं है, राइट? वो मार्केट में जो प्रोडक्ट्स चलेगी सिर्फ वही प्रोडक्ट वो मार्केट.
अच्छा,
राइट? बिकॉज टेकिंग ऑल प्रोडक्ट्स एवरीवेयर इज जस्ट नॉनसेंस, राइट? क्योंकि इट इज लाइक मैं धोती लेके अफ्रीका में धोती बेच रहा हूँ या यूएस में धोती बेच रहा हूँ, अफ्रीका में फिर भी बिक जाएगा, यूएस में नहीं. यूएस में मैं धोती बेच रहा हूँ तो कौन खरीदेगा, राइट? वैसा है. तो अगर मैं सूट लेके यूएस में बेचूं तो तुरंत बिक
जाएगा,
राइट? सो वेरी सिमिलर, लेमैन लैंग्वेज में बता रहा हूँ, राइट? सो यू हैव टू हैव द राइट काइंड ऑफ कंज्यूमर्स। तो वहां पे कंज्यूमर्स का क्या प्रॉब्लम है, वहां के कंज्यूमर्स का क्या चैलेंज है, राइट? यूएस में अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर नॉन वेजिटेरियंस, राइट? दे आर ऑल ड्रिंकिंग सम पार्ट ऑफ अल्कोहल डेली, राइट? तो उनका गट कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड है, पाइल्स के इश्यूज बहुत है, जॉइंट केयर की इश्यूज बहुत है, राइट? डाइजेस्टिव इश्यूज बहुत है, एलर्जीज बहुत है। तो ये सब प्रोडक्ट्स डज वेल दे।
ओके, या सो आज के इस कॉन्वर्जेशन से बहुत कुछ हेल्थ के बारे में पता चला है, बट व्हाट एडवाइस यू विल गिव टू द ऑडियंस टुडे कि हेल्थ कैसे मेंटेन रखना है इन अ ईजियर वे? सिर्फ एक्सरसाइज करने से नहीं, तो और भी सारे तरीके हैं। सो व्हाट वुड योर एडवाइस विल बी फॉर द ऑडियंस, फॉर द पीपल हु आर वाचिंग दिस पॉडकास्ट, कि हेल्दी कैसे रहना है? कुणाल सर हेल्दी कैसे रहते हैं?
कुणाल सर तो कोशिश ही कर रहे हैं, अभी जर्नी बहुत लंबी है, राइट? बट आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ really great inspirational people are out there who are really healthy and who are all you can follow all of them, right? But if I would say is one is इसमें भी गोया काम करेगा, है ना? गेट ऑफ योर एस, काउच पोटैटो नहीं बन के बैठना है, राइट? अगर घर से काम कर रहे हो, यू आर वर्किंग फ्रॉम होम और यू आर गोइंग टू एन ऑफिस और व्हाटएवर, walking, running, jogging or some sport should be a part of your daily life, right? That is very
crucial,
correct? That is one. Second is eating healthy, right? आज की डेट पे I'm sure we can't all avoid
fast foods,
correct? Right? So we can't do that, right? तो बट उसका बैलेंस भी बनाना है,
बैलेंस बना के रखना।
अगर मैं 2 दिन बाहर का खा रहा हूँ तो मैं 7 दिन घर का खा रहा हूँ, राइट? घर का क्यों? क्योंकि घर में 90% टाइम्स सात्विक खाना बनता है, राइट? दैट इज वाई, राइट? आवर एंशिएंट स्कॉलर्स आल्सो न्यू कि अगर हम बोलेंगे कि आपको हल्दी रोज लेना है तो दवाई है, इससे आप इम्यूनिटी बूस्ट होगी, तो कोई लेगा नहीं
लेगा,
इसलिए खाने में मिक्स कर दिया
करने के। हाँ, ट्रेडिशनल वे दे आर यूजिंग इट। ग्रेट।
तो जो सात्विक फूड है ना, उसमें ऑलरेडी बहुत साइंस है। अगर सिर्फ वो फॉलो करोगे तो आपका बहुत न्यूट्रिशन ऐसे ही आ रहा है। कौन सी सीजन में क्या खाना चाहिए वो भी हमारा, आप सात्विक फूड के लिए सिर्फ दादी को पूछो क्या खाना चाहिए, कौन सी सीजन में क्या, वो जो बताएगी ना वो हेल्दीएस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ फूड है।
फॉर्म ऑफ फूड डेफिनेटली।
अगर उन्होंने बोला कि घी वाली चीज, एकदम हैवी वाली चीज खानी है समर विंटर्स में, राइट, तो उसके पीछे भी लॉजिक है, राइट? उनको नहीं पता होगा शायद कि क्यों लॉजिक है, राइट?
उन्होंने भी किसी का सुना होगा, बट द थिंग इज हमारा इंडियन कल्चर और ट्रेडिशन इस तरह से बना है कि वो आने वाले आई थिंक 1000 और 2 मतलब इनन्यूमरेबल ईयर्स तक लोगों को हेल्दी रख सकता है, और हम ही हमारी हेल्थ बिगाड़ रहे हैं।
अभी जब वे वेस्टर्नाइज होके आएगा ना तो लोग फॉलो करते हैं। दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम विद अस, राइट? वी लाइक एनीथिंग। व्हेन योगा केम फ्रॉम यूएस, नो, वी आर लाइक ओ योगा करना चाहिए। व्हेन इंडियंस योगा कर रहे थे सालों से, तभी हमें योगा को फोकस नहीं किया। इट वाज ओनली आफ्टर रामदेव बाबा and Yogi and Modi ji that yoga became yoga again in prime limelight in India. But we need some such strong figures to bring out such traditional stuff back, right? A lot of our science was also lost during all the raids that happened on India for all these centuries in the past, right? तो बहुत सारी चीजें निकल गई है, पर बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो है उसको प्रिजर्व करना है, राइट? तो अगर आप सिर्फ बेसिक चीजें करोगे ना, तो वो सब, सुबह प्राणायाम करो, सूर्य नमस्कार करो सुबह जाके, इट्स द बेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ एक्सरसाइज, राइट? You meditate with om chanting is the best vibration that the body can have, right? तो ये सब जो है अपने कल्चर में, रिलीजन में, अपने कल्चर में इन जनरल,
उसी को फॉलो करना है प्रॉपर्ली, समझ के थोड़ा उसका नॉलेज लेके करना है।
Exactly. So even if you do that basic things, no, you stay healthy, and then always eat local, है ना? क्योंकि यूएस वाले एवोकाडो खा रहे हैं, मेरे को एवोकाडो खाना is not healthy. Avocado is healthy in general, but our body is designed to eat avocados. आप सोचो 3000 साल पहले यहाँ पे उगता था क्या एवोकाडो? अगर नहीं उगता था तो मत,
राइट?
3000 साल पहले यहाँ पे चाय उगती थी क्या? नहीं उगती थी तो मत पियो, एज सिंपल एज दैट, बिकॉज हमारा बॉडी तो वही है.
मतलब यूए वेस्टर्न लोगों को फॉलो करने से अच्छा अपने पूर्वज को फॉलो करो.
See, the science behind that is,
I think it's related to the location and the places.
yes, your genes. It is all to do with your DNA, your genes, your metabolism, all of that. It is all coming from your पूर्वज, from your ancestors. तो हमने ancestors का digestive power लिया है और हम फॉरेन चीज डाइजेस्ट करने के लिए कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो कैसे होगा?
राइट.
पर हमारे यहाँ पे मिलेट्स हमने छोड़ दिया. मिलेट्स, नाउ मोदी जी इज ब्रिंगिंग मिलेट्स बैक इनटू लाइमलाइट. तो ईट मिलेट्स, ब्राउन टॉप मिलेट्स है, मिक्स्ड रागी मिलेट्स है. सो ऑल दिस मिलेट्स हमारे यहाँ पे पहले बहुत कंज्यूम होता था, इसलिए बीमारी कम थी. देन वी वेंट टू व्हीट एंड देन वी वेंट टू पॉलिश्ड राइस एंड पॉलिश्ड एवरीथिंग. व्हेन दैट हैपेंड नोबडी नोस, राइट? सो मैं तो वही बोलता हूँ कि अगर आपको बेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ हेल्दी चाहिए ना, तो ग्रेट 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 ग्रैंडफादर ने क्या खाते थे, बस वो ढूंढ के वो करो. बिकॉज आपका बॉडी वो समझता है, पर हम ये खाते हैं, तो वो बॉडी कंफ्यूज हो जाता है. देन इट कांट डाइजेस्ट, राइट? देन कैंसर केसेस आर गोइंग अप, IBS is going up. IBS was never common in India. अभी every 10th person has IBS, right? Constipation, piles, kidney stones, all of these issues have gone up, right? And that is why the requirement for nutrition also has gone up. That is why the requirement of supplements has also gone up, right? अभी हम इतना आगे निकल गए हैं कि we have to have supplementation. That is why we must take supplement. That is why we launched Tiny Secret also as a brand, right? That is why we are available on all online platforms. We are there on Amazon. We are there. We have our own website. We are there on all other platforms also, which are common today, right? So ये सब जगह पे हम है क्योंकि we want to make it available for the people, right? These are well researched products, right? These are very well and क्या कहते हैं उसको, very restrictively manufactured products. In the
So it is, I think, properly researched of your ancestors का जो भी उन्होंने दिया था उसको properly research करके you have brought in a very simpler form,
right? And these are easy to take. अगर ये भी नहीं लोगे तो फिर क्या करेंगे वो पता नहीं है.
और क्या दे, सब थाली में सजा के देने के बाद भी नहीं खा सकते, तो that's a problem.
Right? Exactly.
So thank you कुणाल. I think मेरे आज ऑडियंस को हेल्थ के बारे में बहुत कुछ पता चल गया है, and definitely आज का कॉन्वर्सेशन सुनने वाले लोग डेफिनेटली अपने एंसेस्टर्स के चीज़ों को रिसर्च करने वाले हैं. एंड डेफिनेटली थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ब्रिंगिंग एसेंजा एंड टाइनी सीक्रेट्स, जो हमें ये सारी चीज़ें सिंपलर फॉर्म में लाके दे रही है. तो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग ऑन द पॉडकास्ट एंड क्रिएटिंग दैट अवेयरनेस टू द पीपल. सो मैं हमेशा पॉडकास्ट एंड करने के एक लाइन बोलता हूँ, टेक भारत टू अ पॉजिटिव वे. पर आज मैं बोलूँगा टेक भारत टू अ हेल्दियर वे.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saahil, for calling me, and I hope your viewers enjoy this conversation.
Yes.
Because I think this is also given me the courage to start doing something in this line.
I think you have to come, because मैंने वो प्रो आयुर्वेदा के बारे में मैंने आज पहली बार सुना, तो ऑडियंस को भी आज मालूम पड़ा है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें मालूम पड़ी. So you have to come consistently and talk about things.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. See you. Bye.